Right now, a huge change is happening on our planet. In East Africa, the ground is slowly breaking apart. Big cracks are appearing in the land. Roads are splitting, houses are getting damaged. And scientists say this is not just a small problem. It's a sign that Africa itself is slowly splitting into two pieces. This process is happening in a place called the East African Rift Valley. It's one of the biggest examples of how the Earth's surface is always moving and changing. How the Earth's crust works. The ground under our feet may feel solid, but it's actually sitting on giant plates called tectonic plates. These plates fit together like a puzzle, covering the entire Earth. But they are always moving, even if we can't feel it. Sometimes these plates push into each other, sometimes they slide past each other, and sometimes they pull apart. In East Africa, two of these plates, the Somali plate and the Nubian plate, are slowly moving away from each other. As they pull apart, the land in between is cracking and sinking. That's what we call the Rift Valley. This valley stretches thousands of kilometers, from Ethiopia in the north to Mozambique in the south. It's a place where we can actually see the Earth splitting apart with our own eyes. The giant crack in Kenya. In 2018, people in Kenya saw this happening in real life. A huge crack appeared in the ground, suddenly and without warning. The crack was several miles long and deep enough for people to stand inside it. Videos and pictures of this crack quickly spread on the internet. Many people were shocked. But scientists explained that this was all part of the natural process of the Earth changing. The giant crack showed the same thing that's happening along the whole Rift Valley. The ground is pulling apart little by little. But for people living nearby, it was scary. Roads like the Mai Mahiu Road were broken. Some homes were damaged, and many wondered if the ground under them was safe. Is a new ocean coming? Scientists say that this process won't stop anytime soon. In fact, they believe it will continue for millions of years. And one day, the cracks will get so big that water from the nearby Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden will fill the space. When that happens, a brand new ocean will form right in the middle of Africa. This new ocean will separate the Horn of Africa, which includes countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania, from the rest of the continent. Those countries will become a new, smaller landmass, surrounded by water. It's a slow process, but scientists say it's already begun. The Earth is constantly changing, and this is one of the biggest examples happening today. Why is this happening? To understand why Africa is splitting, we have to look deep inside the Earth. Beneath the ground, there is something called the mantle. It's a layer of hot, soft rock that sits under the Earth's hard outer shell, called the crust. In some places, super hot rock from deep inside the mantle rises up. These are called mantle plumes. Think of them like giant columns of heat pushing upward. When this happens, it weakens the crust and makes it easier for the ground to crack and break apart. In East Africa, scientists believe a huge mantle plume is rising right now. That's what's making the ground weaker, and why the Somali and Nubian plates are slowly pulling away from each other. This is not the first time something like this has happened. Millions of years ago, the same process created the Red Sea. It also helped shape the Gulf of Aden. Now, the same thing is happening again, but this time right through the middle of Africa. The impact on people and wildlife. While all this sounds like slow natural science, it's already affecting people who live in East Africa. In places like Kenya and Ethiopia, roads, farms, and homes are built right on top of the Rift Valley. As cracks appear and the land sinks, these structures can break apart or get damaged. In 2018, we saw roads like Mai Mahiu Road crack open. Imagine driving to work and suddenly the road in front of you is gone. But it's not just people who are affected. Animals are too. East Africa is famous for its wildlife. Lions, elephants, giraffes, and many other animals live here. But as the land shifts and cracks, their homes change too. Some animals may lose the places they live and search for food. Over time, entire habitats could disappear as the ground continues to move. How the map of Africa will change. If this process continues for millions of years, the map of Africa will look very different. The Horn of Africa, which includes Somalia, parts of Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania, will completely break off from the rest of the continent. Water from the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden will rush in, filling the space between the two land masses. This will create a brand new ocean, and Africa will be split into two large landmasses with a stretch of water between them. Scientists say this is a normal part of how continents change over time. In fact, this is how the continents we know today were formed in the first place. Long ago, all the continents were stuck together in one giant landmass called Pangaea. But over millions of years, they drifted apart to form the world map we see today. The same thing is happening again right now in Africa. How fast is this happening? Now don't worry, this isn't something that will happen overnight. The plates move very slowly, only a few centimeters each year. But even though it's slow, the process never stops. Every earthquake, every new crack, every shift under the ground is a reminder that the Earth is alive and always changing. Can this be stopped? The simple answer is no. This is not something humans can control. The splitting of Africa is part of a natural process that has been happening for millions of years. It is caused by powerful forces deep inside the Earth. These forces are much stronger than anything humans can stop or change. But that doesn't mean we are completely helpless. Scientists are watching this process closely. They use special tools to measure the ground's movement. They track earthquakes. They study the cracks that appear. All this helps them understand how the land is changing. It also helps them warn people if there are risks nearby. Roads, homes, and buildings can be designed in safer places, away from dangerous cracks or weak ground. In the future, early warning systems could help people prepare for sudden changes, like new cracks opening or earthquakes happening. So even though we cannot stop the Earth from splitting, we can still stay safe by learning and preparing. What will the future look like? If we could jump into a time machine and visit Earth millions of years from now, we would see a very different map. Africa will no longer be one big continent. The land where the East African Rift Valley is today will be filled with water. A completely new ocean will stretch through the middle of the continent. The countries on the Horn of Africa, like Somalia, parts of Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania, will break away from the mainland. They will form a new, smaller continent, floating apart, surrounded by the new ocean. The Red Sea and Gulf of Aden will flow into this gap, connecting with the new body of water. It will change the shape of coastlines and create new beaches, cliffs, and islands. But the changes won't stop there. Over time, the land will continue to shift. Mountains may rise. New cracks may appear. Even volcanoes and earthquakes could reshape the area. Wildlife will change too. Animals that live in this region today may be forced to move or adapt to new environments. Some animals may be separated by the new ocean, while others could disappear completely. It's a powerful reminder that the Earth never stays still. It's always moving, shaping, and reshaping itself, even if the process takes millions of years. In 2018, when a giant crack suddenly opened in Kenya, the whole world took notice. It wasn't just a random hole in the ground. It was clear proof that the Earth is alive and always changing. The East African Rift Valley is one of the best places to see this happening. It shows how tectonic plates move, how continents break apart, and how even brand new oceans can slowly form. It might sound scary, but it's also an incredible reminder of how powerful nature is. The same forces that created mountains, oceans, and continents in the past are still at work today. And even though the changes happen slowly, they never stop. So next time you look at a map, remember that map isn't final. Millions of years from now, it will look completely different. And right now, in East Africa, that new map is already starting to take shape. That's the amazing, unstoppable power of our planet. And we are lucky to witness the beginning of this incredible journey. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more simple, fun science facts.